Star Wars! The beginning of the restoration. Now, first thing I needed to do is get in here and have a look at what was going on with the power and the fuses and the wiring, and just before we get into anything too crazy. So, some nice wiring job here, look at that, nice. Fix this one up, got to fix these up. Went through all of the fuse terminal and connections on the color vector power block down here. All the fuses are good and intact, and the rest of the wiring down there is actually pretty good, except I don't know if you can see this one back here. Look, bleh. That one's been attacked by an axe murderer. So that looks like it probably goes back to either one of the fans, or it also might go to the light in the back and the rear marquee on this. But this typical, this black, white, green, this is AC power, 125, 120 volts. So that's going to go and power something like a lamp or a fan or something. So it's not critical to the game working. So I went ahead and I thought, well, you know, let's fire it up and see what happens. So so I did, and we'll flick it on, and it makes a noise. And look, our spot killer is on our deflection board. So obviously that means we have an issue with the graphics. And then slowly but surely, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not, but lots of smoke started coming off the high voltage board here. So yeah, obviously that's a problem. Smoke coming off of electronics boards generally not good. So that's something obviously we're gonna have to look into. I'm going to turn it off again before the whole thing bursts into flames. But pretty much to be expected with an amplifier on this solder. I don't know when this has been touched last. So this is all going to have to come out, and I'm going to have to go through it and probably send it away. So that looks like someone's dropped in on the stream over here for the hangout. Anyway, that's progress so far with the wiring and the power. Okay, so pulled the boards out of the game, and noticed straight away something's missing here. The interconnect cable goes between these pins on the soundboard and the main board here, completely missing. So obviously you're not going to get any sound out of a game that has that missing, because there's no way for the sound to make the trip. The thing that I did notice though, which is reasonably promising, after going through the AR2 and checking all the pin outputs on that, it seems to be good. It seems to be working properly. So the next thing to do is to go through and check the voltages on the board. We know they're coming through properly though, and a good measure of that, if I turn the board off here for a second, and I turn it on, I get all three LEDs, and then all three go out. Now if my memory serves me correct, that means that the board is passed post-test and is actually operational. I'm going to go and check that and make sure that I'm not kidding myself too much. Also, I'm going to just test all the voltages on the board and make sure they look good. And then if they do, maybe try and figure out a way to get these connected, and then see if we can get any sound out of it. Because if it's playing blind, then obviously that's a really encouraging thing to see. So I'm going to go ahead and check those voltages and see what I can find. Alright, so I've got my multimeter set up, and found myself a ground down here. I'm going to try and do this while I'm holding the phone. But okay, so down here we want plus 5 volts. Close enough. Next tab up here we're looking for minus 5. Minus 6, that's fine, that's fine. Up here, unregulated 10.3, so that can be all over the place. But 11 volts, that's pretty good. And then up here, okay, another plus 5. And then one more, I'm looking for plus 12 volts down here. And what do we got? Yep, plus 12 volts. Alright, so voltages are good. LEDs are out. So now I'm going to move on and see if I can work out something to get this sound harness bridged. And see if we can get any sound out of this thing. Wish me luck. Alligator clips. Can never have enough of these little test leads. Okay, so a little cray here. But, you know, did the job. Just get in there. Get in there enough to get these big fatty pins. And get them all connected, and the same the other end over here. I just want to check and make sure I haven't got a short on that yellow there. Looks good. It's okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and power it back up again. Now I've made that connection, and what do we got? It made a noise. Oh yeah, yeah, listen to that. It's awesome. Listen. Nice. So it seems like I've created the first Star Wars cockpit beatbox. Yep. Okay, well, we have sound, but obviously it's not the kind of sound we were looking for. Pointing up doesn't make a difference. Test mode doesn't make a difference. Obviously the volume up and down for our beatbox. So we do have some issues at the board level. Oh, it stopped. Oh, it started again. So without getting this plugged into a working monitor now, it's going to be hard to sort of work out what kind of level of crap we're at with this. I do have a buddy who has a spare 6100 that he can bring over. I actually do have a Space Duel up here, but that's got a brand new in box WG6100 in it, and I don't feel very confident about plugging this into a new in box monitor, so I am not going to do that. So I'll ask my buddy to bring his old spare one over, and we'll plug it in and we'll see what's going on. But pretty good so far. So we know we've got volts, we know we have the right volts, and we certainly have activity on the board, so that's a good start. As expected, the ampliphone is a steaming pile of smoking shit, but that's not a surprise either, so I'm gonna fire those boards off to my friend and let him do his magic and work on those, and then we'll go from there. So, Star Wars Cockpit, end of episode 1. Dun 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 dun. Gotta do it in time with the beatbox. Dun 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 dun. Boom 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 boom.